Hello. So I'm going over my TinkerCAD simulation for the Fine Debris Removal Robot. This robot is designed to remove small debris in a zoo enclosure and includes two ultrasonic sensors, two motors for track drive and steering, and then a vacuum motor and a warning LED. The real robot would have more ultrasonic sensors, and the same thing in my actual CAD model. I just simplified it for the board. First, I'll go over my code and then the board. So I kind of broke everything down so I could keep track of what was what. To different pin layouts, and then into the motor movements. Warning LED blink function, which I'll get into that in a second, which is commanded. In the real world, it would be commanded through sensors. I'll just command it through a serial input for T, B, C, and R. Shutdown procedures, and then a docking mode. And then here's my board. So these would be the drive motors on each side of the track. This simulates the vacuum motor powered through a transistor, which would read for clogs if the power gets too high. And then this is the warning LED. So for normal cleaning mode, start the simulation. So in normal cleaning mode, the front ultrasonic sensor is looking for anything to be, I believe I have it set to 15. And so we're reading our distance. And so if it gets less than that amount, one motor, it tries to turn right. In the real execution, it would turn left or right depending on which sensor is seeing something. But in this simulation, it turns right until it's corrected back to a normal distance, as you can see here in the serial monitor. And then it would keep continuing doing that, looking for obstacles, moving on its way. And then if you were to have the tank full, for instance, with the tank full, the battery gets too low, then it would go into a docking mode and return to the dock. So I'll simulate the tank full with a capital T. And you can see it enter docking mode. So now the rear sensor is looking for anything less than 5. So it would back up towards the docking wall. Like I said, in the actual model, there'd be sensors on each side. So we'd be doing the same thing as the forward. We'd be looking for something in the way, getting out of the way. But then once it was near the docking wall and it got less than 5, it would go into shutdown mode. And then shutdown and the blinking light would turn on, letting the operators know that it needs a full battery or needs to be charged, or the tank needs to be emptied. So I'm going to reset the system. So now it thinks it's driving around again, looking for obstacles. If there was to be low battery, for instance, that would be the B. Same thing, go into tank docking mode. It's going to move its way towards the wall. Once it's less than 5, it goes into shutdown. So I'm going to reset the system. And then the one thing I wanted was for the vacuum motor. So if it picks up a clog, the transistor is going to send too high of a signal. But anyway, to simulate that, I have a C command, which would stand for clog. In that instance, it just shuts down where it's at, and the warning light blinks to let the operators know that, hey, there's an issue. They can clear the clog, and then there would be a reset button on top of the unit to clear, but I simulate that with an R, and it goes back to looking for obstructions, turning, looking for obstructions, and so on. Thank you.